Okay, let's get into it. First, I'm going to start by priming the model rich gold, and it's thinned down to about 2 to 1 with the Vallejo airbrush thinner. Please ignore that this Terminator was already primed purple. I tried a couple different color schemes, like I said, and the one I was going for did not work out. Now that we have a gold base coat, I'm going to come in with a very thinned down Druchii Violet, almost doing an airbrush glaze with this. I'm focusing on all the dark areas where the light would hit the least, kind of give it a nice gradient. The purple will act as a really nice warm and give it a little bit of a shine because there is a little bit of gloss going on with the Citadel washes, but at the same time we're using true metallics, so the shine shouldn't matter in the long run. And after a couple sprays of the Druchii Violet, this is how it turned out. Now I'm going to start prepping my wet palette. Cool thing I just started doing, and I haven't seen anyone else do this, is I have a lot of 10 millimeter magnets from previous projects. I like putting two under the mat and then two on the top parts to hold all four corners down of the paper. It's really nice. You don't have to worry about the paper curling up on you as the mat starts drying out. So if you have a magnets laying around, I recommend giving it a try. First, I'm going to come in with highlighting the gold. I'm going to mix rich gold and bright gold about 1 to 1. And from there, I'm just going to start slowly building up the brightness of the golds. So I'm going to start taking more from the darker end with the rich gold and just start touching all those areas where we had a little bit of overspray with the Druchii Violet. And then come in with the mid-tone of the 1 to 1 mix. And then start touching a little bit of that bright gold up in there. Now we got a head start on the gold armor. Here comes the trim, the most lovely part of the model. And by lovely, I mean this is awful. I'm going to do a base coat of blue black. And then from there, I'm going to also base coat the tabard with a warm gray. I didn't get footage of that, but I just wanted to include that. And here's our fully base coated model. I put a little bit of black on the sword and the gun. And like I said, warm gray on the tabard. Trim's finally done for now, but here comes the fun part, highlighting it. Our first step of highlighting, I'm going to come in with dark gray blue, and I'm going for volumetric highlights here, so the brighter we go, the less we cover. So just touching it in most areas, and then from there, highlighting over that. So this is our first step. Now for the second part of the highlight, I'm going to mix a 1 to 1 ratio of dark gray blue with faded ultramarine, and we're going to start slowly covering less. Now for the extreme highlights, I'm going to come in with just pure faded ultramarine, and it's just going to be the brightest areas of the model, the highest points. Now we're going to go back to the gold. I'm going to come in with pure white gold, and same thing as trim, the brightest areas. I'm going to start touching little lines of that, and then we're going to do one more step of highlighting the gold to call the gold armor finished. Our last extreme highlight for the gold armor is going to be pure silver, and we're just going to touch little areas of this where we put the white gold. I wanted a slightly different blue for the stripes, so I came in with turquoise, and I'm also going to be doing white and turquoise stripes. This process was a lot of trial and error. My end result turned out a little sloppy, but I put enough time into it to at least try to make it look nice. It's not perfect, but what can you do? It's very small, little lines. And now for the white. If you're following this video step by step, I recommend just going back and forth between turquoise and white because my first attempt was not perfect. I cut most of that footage out. Don't beat yourself up. There's so much room for error at this part. Then overall, the whole model, it's overly detailed. It looks nice, but at the same time, painting it is a nightmare. Now I'm going to focus on the weapons. I'm going to do dark silver on all the gun and the sword. And from there, I'm going to go in with the Liquitex Bold Titanium White ink. And I'm just going to touch that on the little runes on the gun and all the eye parts of the armor. Since I already had a lot of dark gray blues, I'm going to do just a warm gray to highlight the gun because I want a little bit of variation. I don't want the gun to blend in with the trim.